And we're back for game number 2 of this best of 3. Had a bit of a long piece of downtime, but we're ready to roll. RILIMIN coming up short, unable to reel in the big fish that was that game 1 win against Vici Gaming. Vici, they made some mistakes. They, one of the funnier mistakes I've seen so far in G1, but all in all, able to just steamroll on the back of an unbelievably well-farmed Shadow Fiend. But guess what, guys? If you've been hanging out all morning and you're sick of hearing just my voice, we got something to break the monotony. Happen to have a guest ready to co-cast with me. He's from a little-known team here in the West known as No Tide Hunter. Welcome in, Loda. Loda, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
No, it's no problem. I see you finally rolled your butt out of bed. I was actually bitching about you this morning. I was telling my viewership that I was supposed to have a buddy ready to cast with me bright and early at 8 in the morning Central European time, but at least you made it for potentially the last game of the day.
Yeah. You know, I couldn't. I had some plans even right now, but then I felt so bad since I let you down again. So I had to move it to go in for this game and try to entertain you all.
Well, thank you so much, and certainly your insight going to be welcome. I'm pretty good at making sounds, and I have some basic level insight, but for all those knowledge fiends, no one better on the planet to be dropping those knowledge bombs like Mr. Loda Berg. So I'm going to take it, since you were sleeping quite soundly while I was wide awake, that you didn't catch any of the first game. First game, I mean, RILIMIN is an Australian squad. I don't know if you know something about them. I certainly don't. I had never heard of them until today, but they played okay. Lippy in particular, playing on Shadow Demon, had a really good game, but for the most part, Vici just showing much better movement and decision making. So I'll just go ahead and ask you this, and this is really the only way I know to approach the analysis of these teams, since we have such a very shallow pool of knowledge about them. Is you're a top player now. You're on a DreamHack Championship squad, but you didn't get there overnight. So if you're a team if you're a player on a team like RILIMIN, and you're looking to try to notch some major wins against a bigger program like Vici, how do you go about that? Like, what is your mindset heading in to this series?
You mean going in as an underdog, kind of?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, it depends what kind of team you are and what kind of results you're trying to get. I mean, when we started off in the beginning as a brand new team, if we knew that our opponents were better than us, we would try to cheese them, kind of, pick a strategy where we could counter them and just impress everyone and make them understand that we can outsmart them even if we can't outskill them.
Right.
But I mean, here it's extremely hard to know. I don't recognize even one name from the Australian team, but I think the most important thing is always to stay true to your own playstyle. I mean, every team has a certain playstyle that they lean towards, and if you have a tough game, you should either plan something really special, or you should always just do what you do best and rely on that.
10 seconds remaining.
Very well said. And I mean, again, it's I hate to just follow it up with okay, good job, Loda, but what else is there to add? We don't know much about this squad. Game 1, I mean, yeah, we saw game 1, but it's not like they tried anything particularly interesting. I mean, they ran a pretty cookie cutter lineup. They were farming a gyrocopter out of a defensive tri lane. They had a Darkseer. I mean, and again, just pretty cookie-cutter stuff, and already going to the Queen of Pain and the Keeper of the Light. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, how did Vici Gaming lane it? They tend to play safe lane?
No, they actually offensively tri-laned
But they went offensive there? Yeah. Oh, yeah, since you mentioned it was being a defensive, that's why.
Yep. It was they safe laned the Shadow Fiend, and they ended up running a solo Lone Druid in mid against the Queen of Pain solo.
That's quite okay.
Yeah, well, that's really what made the difference. Their Shadow Fiend had approximately 200 last hits at 25 minutes into the game, and he also rolled up about a dozen kills. So,
well, I think that's the best way to pick Shadow Fiend nowadays. Like either putting it safe lane solo, or just even supporting the hero there. Like Shadow Fiend can scale so fast if you help him get the early farm. Or make sure he has a lane where he can get that farm. I mean, I don't think there's any hero in the game that farms as fast as him. So I understand why they would do that, and hearing him having that many last hits makes sense. I mean, he's obviously a great player and likes to last it, but Shadow Fiend is, like, people don't understand that always. He's one of the best farmers.
Oh yeah, he can flash farm, he can, I mean, obviously, and that's kind of the analysis going in was that, yeah, it sucks to deal with a Darkseer one-on-one until you get a handful of stacks of Necromastery, and then it gets a little bit easier. Your mic, actually, I just received word, needs to be toggled on in game, so if you don't care to just go to the options, toggle that on and then off and make sure that's all set up right. And in the
You want me to toggle it on?
Yeah, the in-game mic should be on. I've got it so you'll be muted on my side, so we just want to make sure that the ticket holders of the fine G1 Champions League are going to be able to hear you, and not just me sitting quietly and contemplating the sound of silence. But
I turned it on now, so
hopefully we're good. We'll get feedback momentarily, but let's run through. We've been talking about last game. How about we take a look at what we got going on right now? Keeper of the Light, Queen of Pain, Nature's Prophet, going to be the first 3 picks for RILIMIN. Vici Gaming going with the Shadow Demon, Lifestealer, and Sand King. Obviously, the makings of what I would sniff out to be an offensive tri-lane, just because of how deadly that can be with the Shadow Demon leading off, with Disruption and the Soul Catcher, the Burrow Strike to follow it up, and then the Open Wounds, making it impossible to try to retreat. And given how successful their offensive tri-lane was for the most part in Game 1, no reason not to roll that up and repeat the same thing in Game number 2.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like Vici Gaming is obviously aiming towards a very early game, mid-game dominance. The first night is going to be quite scary for this RILIMIN.
RILIMIN, like as in RILIMIN, like real in a fish.
Okay.
Yep.
But I mean, these picks are like, if they have a plan, sure, they may be good, but I'm just a bit scared looking at RILIMIN's picks because they have very squishy heroes. And they show that they have all these squishy heroes early game, where Vici goes for like an all-out crowd control gang lineup, and the lane phase will decide a lot. This looks like almost like a LGD int lineup from that Vici Gaming is running. Like it's a early game, mid game control, and then you just dominate lanes, and then you will push towers, even if you don't have. I mean, usually they do LGD int does pick push potential. We all know that.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, sometimes they play the same way, but they don't have push. They just dominate, and then you just right-click towers, pretty much.
Yep, that's
what I see.
Yep, that's exactly what they did in their first series of the day, actually. And I agree with you 100%. And they're actually going to go ahead and safe lane this. This is a little surprising to me. I really thought they would end up running that offensively. But we'll see. I mean, they are kind of moving all in that general direction. Maybe they'll swap it up, or maybe they're...
The thing is, I don't know if anyone really wants to go against a safe lane, Keeper of the Light, Wisp, and CK. Like, that lane is, in my opinion, one of the strongest lanes, safe lanes in the game. Like, you can just do this. You can play passive. The thing is, when you have Coddle, and this is something we feel as a team, like, Coddle is one of the strongest lane controllers if you put him safe lane. And the thing you can always do is, you can always play passive with a strong lane. So you can wave the first, for example, you can block your own creeps. So his wave will reach your tower. And then you just blast the first wave. So you will push out right away. Then use anti-ward and focus on pulling. So you can always choose the safe way to play the lane and just push them out. And people think that, yeah, you should always keep control of the creeps and stuff like that. But sometimes, if you're a try against a try, if you push them out, they're going to have to deal with just a lack of experience. And when it comes to CK, Wisp, and Coddle, they can even kill you as well. So
absolutely, absolutely. See, this is what we need to have, and why you need to get up earlier, Loda. Absolutely love the insights, my friend. All right, let's run through our lineups while we've got a moment. Looks like it's going to be relatively quiet for the moment. We're going to have our Lifestealer farm by, I was told CTY is actually who that is. Don't know why. He wouldn't just use the initials, so I don't look like an idiot, but he will be farming the Lifestealer up. Going to pay attention to mid as FY is under cover of an Invis rune. And we're going to see if they really want to engage into our Queen of Pain. He's not quite level 2 yet. If he has level 2, he'll get the silence. But for right now, just kind of hanging out. Looks like he is going to move up. He's got help. The bounty hunter's there. And here we go. She's going to be able to blink away. Took a shot at it, but unable to make it happen. So we'll resume running through our lineups. The Bounty Hunter, who just showed his face in mid, that's XT. Gonna have the Night Stalker, handled by Santiago this time. And then Fenrir playing on our Sand King, and Shadow Demon, handled by FY on the other side of the river, VDK. Gonna be playing our Wisp for RILIMIN, Nature's Prophet, played by T-Duck. He's setting up shop here in the solo long lane. Yamu Kunpaku playing on our Queen of Pain this time around. Cuck's gonna be farming up our CK, and Lippy, my MVP for RILIMIN in game number 1, played a fantastic Shadow Demon. Gonna be looking to play an even better Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what's going on here. I mean, the dire side safe lane is gonna get a lot of XP, I think, but it seems like they are. I don't really like this when you let the offlaner control the big spawn. I mean, if you're not gonna be able to zone him out, you should really block that. Like, if you do, as I said, like you push out the lane and stuff, you can always pull the lane up. Like you pull the big spawn, you eat a tango or just eat a tree, and you can stack and pull the wave, the big spawn at 52, 53, and it's the easiest way to deny lanes. But if you let the opponent pull that, because it's just as easy for him, or even easier, it's gonna give him too much EXP. But I don't know, maybe they didn't think Bounty will play so aggro. So he's getting some EXP here. Yeah. But yeah, he's got some more XP than Furion. But
well, early on, one thing we can be assured of is that both teams are really going to fight. They've both picked for it. You don't pick a Queen of Pain and a CK Wisp combination with the global presence of a Nature's Prophet just to sit back and try to farm towards the late game. Same thing with VG.
They're going for Bounty. Bounty on top.
Yep. Good call. Got there a bit late with the camera. I'm going to blame that on the fact that I'm very tired. But first blood is going to go on the board. And that's going to be 1-0. RILIMIN able to make him pay in a big way. And not too bad of a start if you're looking to get your CK rolling quite early. They're going to get the return kill on Queen of Pain in mid. I did get there for that one just in time. So nice start in return for Night Stalker as well.
Yeah, that's I mean, they only have quite low CS in mid, but the Night Stalker did get a kill there, and it's gonna get level 4 against level 4.5. So I mean, the co-op was winning the lane as it should be, but this gang is kind of tilting it, and yeah, hopefully Night Stalker doesn't get one more kill before the first night. Otherwise, it's gonna be scary.
Yeah, first night gonna be scary. One way or the other. I want to keep an eye on what CK decides to build, what item build he wants to go for. He's already got his tier 1 boots. We'll see if he just wants to go straight up treads and then possibly into an armlet. But as in a situation like this, you play a decent amount of CK. I've casted you on CK a number of times. Situation like this, what build would you really be aiming for?
Well, it's a very good question. This is something I always ask myself. I've been trying to analyze what I feel is the best, and I've tried like either you go treads and then you go armlet straight for some early damage, HP, etc. But usually the best thing to do is just go threads. Oh, he goes face boots. I won't comment on that. I've never been a huge fan of face boots on a hero like CK because he lacks mana, and I like to toggle the treads so you can always switch to in treads before you do your spells. But as I said, I would probably recommend the treads, magic wand, drum. It's probably the best one. You need some stats to be able to use your spells enough, and it's just a good start build because you can choose to either go for the BKB straight away, like maybe in this game you should, or depends. Or you can go for the armlet. So if they have a lot of disables, maybe you should go for the BKB so you can fight, or you can go for the armlet and just go for huge aggression. And when you go tread strum, you have the stats to like build CK just as you want.
And looking at the way that they're going to try to play this out, I'm pretty much in agreement with you. I feel like going with phase boost is a little bit odd. I mean, you're going to have the ability to close distance regardless of if you have those treads or not. I mean, the bonus damage is nice-ish, I guess. But you've already got Wisp, and you've already got Reality Rift, which is going to allow you to close distance on whatever single target you want to do it. And I'm with you. I feel like mana management is one of the bigger problems he faces early on, and
Yeah.
Shred's help to mitigate that. But anyway, they are going to take themselves their first Tier 1 tower, so far things looking okay for real. We can see on the back of that, they've now...
It's actually really even when it comes to gold lead, if you don't count that last tower.
Yep, I was going to say they've taken... just eclipsed the 4-digit mark, so 1,000 gold in their favor. Pretty much all of that owed to...
Look at this Furion on bottom lane now. They really want to punish him.
Yep, they're in position. Let's see if they can make it happen. Here comes FY, ready with the disruption, and that's a dead Furion. See you back at the well. He is going to have help coming in. That's going to be Queen of Pain. They are going to get the Furion. Now she's going to be the target. Sonic Wave going to clean up the Sand King in the meantime. Now going to blink away. Lippy's back there ready to charge up and Illuminate, and the Infest allows him to dodge the Illuminate. He comes back out. So they get the return kill at the very least. This tower continuing to be under damage. Here comes San Diego using the silence, going to engage on a Yondu, and he drops quite quickly. And we talked about that briefly. We knew First Night was going to be dangerous, and now that's going to be his second kill at 7 minutes into this game. Illuminate helping to zone CTY out, at least for the moment, but off to a great start. Now over on the other lane, we've got XTT under pressure again. Will they catch him? One auto attack, not enough. They have to bail. Here comes the TP reaction. They're going to try to retreat up the lane. Fenrir's there. Here comes Night Stalker looking to add to his kill count, and he will. Catches Wisp, and he's not done yet. Chasing down T-Duck. T-Duck sprouts himself in with the enemy. Locks himself in the Thunderdome. 2-second Chaos Bolt buys a little bit of time. Burrow strikes up in 1 second. Now re-engaging off the Void. Peace out. See you back in the well, brother.
I will rise next season.
Yeah, I mean, Vici Gaming is just playing great when it comes to counter-ganging. I was about to say that Quap, the reason why I love Quap is because you can do these anti-gangs, like once you hit level 6, 7, just TP in and you can, like, always punish the opponents. But the thing was, Vici Gaming, like, reacted to this, and I think Quap didn't really know what Night Stalker was doing, but Night Stalker, like, right away was there for a counter go and they killed the Quap. So Vici Gaming won the engage after all. And then on the left side, Night Stalker was there once again, and they're just playing a great counter gang game right now.
Yep, very aggressive, and then there's no surprise. We talked about it briefly, but with the drafts both of these teams had, these are not teams that want to sit and farm towards a 50-minute game. These are teams that want to be active in one way or another. The mobility on RILIMIN is really going to be the X factor that they're going to be looking to abuse. The global presence that Wisp gives you with Relocate plus a CK, not to mention the inherent mobility of the Queen of Pain, and of course Keeper of the Light and his ability to use his ult to bring people to and from the fights. And spoken to a number of professional players, and I'll ask your opinion on it while we have a moment of downtime. Not sure how long that's going to last, but some of the basic idea I've gotten from most professional players is that of all the abilities the Keeper of the Light has, it's his ability to bring someone back into a fight after buyback that most consider one of the strongest, if not the strongest, in his entire arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I can understand why people would say that, because that is truly broken. Like, you can always fight. Not broken, I like to say that stuff is broken, but it's not. I don't know if I feel it's actually broke. But nah. I mean, I wouldn't go so far to say it's the best one, because if Keeper of the Light was there and he could just give mana and TP people, but he didn't have Eliminate. Nah, but at the same time, sure, that ability is one of the greatest, and especially for split pushing as well. I feel that a lot of teams don't use Keeper of the Light to his full potential when it comes to split pushing, like always moving. Like when you see the opponents pushing your towers, sometimes you should go there to defend, but sometimes you should just race down to the other lane, and then you let the carry defend the tower for just a little while, and then you TP the carry to the other lane and you start pushing and do things like this. But yeah, he's just a great hero.
Yep, and I'm actually surprised and granted, this is only my second day I've been able to cast G-1, given my internet was out all damn day yesterday, but already I'm seeing not so much emphasis placed on the hero compared to North American and European Dota. I mean, he's still picked, as we can obviously see here, but it's not quite where it is whenever I cast, say, a No Tide Hunter game, where the hero tends to be picked or banned in the first few picks or bans.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about this and like analyzing Asian Dota a bit lately, and I mean, it's the same thing when it comes to Wisp. This Australian team did pick Wisp, but I mean, when you look at, for example, the games between IG and LGD Int, Wisp isn't picked nor banned at all.
Mm-hmm.
And like Wisp has a very, very high skill cap, and the hero is like, you can counter Wisp by playing like, for IG is a perfect team to play against Wisp because they tend to stick as 5, and like once Wisp would reach that level 6, they would push towers as 5 and just counter push and counter Wisp, because as when you're having Wisp, they think that, oh, you just want to gank. But I feel that if you just split push with Wisp instead, he's still a great carry. Carry, what am I talking about? Sorry. He's still great support, and he has some abilities that are just too awesome to be like to make use of. Like the TP can be used in fights to like change position of the carry. That's something we've been trying to utilize as well. Like, you're actually standing in a fight, initiating with carry, then you TP him behind the enemies right away.
Yeah.
So you would try to control the fight, and I mean the tether, everything. I think the hero is great as a support, so I feel it's wrong that they ignore Wisp as a pick. But at the same time, it's always about style of play, and I'm a bit surprised LGD doesn't use Wisp, but the Chinese, I understand.
Well, I know there was a game in, I want to say it was in Phase 1 before I began casting G1, where I'm not sure what it is. You'd have to ask the Beyond the Summit guys, where apparently they had a Wisp go mid, and the Wisp ended up like with a handful of kills. Like, it was a solo mid Wisp. I know who it was. It was Cyber.
Oh yeah.
It was Cyberpink. Cyberpink did it. I remember because I casted Cyberpink, and that's when I heard about it. So make sure you check that VOD, guys, if you're looking for some interesting Wisp play and want to see something a little bit different. I'm sure you can find it on Beyond the Summit. While we have just a moment of downtime, I do want to go ahead and once again direct everyone, if you haven't been there yet, you damn well need to go right now to the G1 main webpage, sort of just basically your hub for all of the information you could want, g1.2p.com. You can find your caster hub with myself, Vlad, and Beyond the Summit, so you can just tune into one page, find all of your favorite casters right there, so you can switch back and forth if you want. Not to mention great coverage, articles, interviews, you name it. They're going to have it right there. Again, g1.2p.com. Show them some support because they're supporting this league and allowing us to be here. So, yeah, it's a good day for Dota, waiting on the pause. Been a long day so far, to be honest. We've had a lot of pauses, but occasionally you're going to run into that from time to time.
Yeah,
but
it's usually the problem with online games.
Yeah, just a bit. While we have him, there he is. See, I was just going to say, ready to reconnect. But go ahead and plug yourself there, Lodo, while we have a minute of downtime. Where can people find more about you if this is the first time they're hearing your name and your voice?
Well, you can see me play as the carry player, and we had this discussion if I would call myself the captain team or not. I mean, the others kind of see me as, I would call me the spiritual captain, maybe. You know, I'm the one who keeps us together. But you can watch my stream at twitch.tv/liveandletloda. You can follow me at Twitter at Lodaberg, or just like my Facebook page, which is just Live and Let Loda.
Alrighty, guys. There you go. Make sure you follow this guy, keep up with him, and the team he is kind of a captain of. At least that's what I took away from it. No Tide Hunter. You can catch them in action all over the place. One of the premier teams in the world, and this guy usually sucking up most of the gold on the map for them. So, should be back underway. Well, nope, never mind. We've lost a Chaos Knight this time around.
This wall. So it's going to be interesting to see what's happening now. I mean, I hate these pauses. You kind of lose the flow of the game, and you're like, what is going on? But the Nyx has phase drums, so he's going to be quite strong. He has a magic one as well, plus a quelling, so the Furion is not going to be able to do anything. The Furion is sadly very poor. He's probably just going to be leeching here a bit, and then Nyx is going to scare him away once the game unpauses.
We are just 9 minutes into the game, so still a lot of Dota left to be played. Taking an early look.
Of course.
Taking a
But what I wanted to say was more like, I feel that Furion should maybe opt to go for the jungle sometimes. when you have such a strong lane against you. And once, I mean, sure, it was just some bad timing as well. He tried to gang top, then there was an anti-gang, so he hasn't had luck on his side this game. But what I meant is, like, sometimes it is the right decision to just go farm the jungle, because sure, it will give you less farm than if you farm on the lane, but it's still safer farm, and just to get some of those core items.
Yeah, we can see, speaking of core items, he's already on his way to a mech. He's got his Bassi up. No boots yet, but the headdress already complete. He'll have the buckler up in about 400 gold, give or take. So he's still got a ways to go, but I'll tell you, looking at VG and just the way they're playing already, Bounty Hunter is level 6, so track is going to be the major factor for them moving forward through the latter stages of this early game. And given the mobility that they have with Night Stalker at night, the Nakes is already, as you mentioned, already got his drum. It wouldn't surprise me a bit to see, I mean, obviously he's going to want to find his farm, but the Nakes bomb is going to come into play sometime soon, and no better passenger than Santiago in this situation.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how much they're able to do this first night. I mean, potentially they could wreck RILIMIN, but at the same time, if RILIMIN gets level 6 and a Wisp, which is quite close, a bit more than half a level, and they're able to counter gang and counter initiate with a Fury and ult, maybe with a Wisp TP, Quap ult, you know. A good execution from them can easily let them control the game. The thing is, I just hate bounty level 6, you know, the feeling you have when they can take fights that they kinda lose, but they still get ahead because of the track hold. So we'll have to see. I think track is gonna play a major role.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and that's, I'll tell you, taking a look at CK, he's already picked up his bracer, so one can only imagine he's well on the way to his drums, as we had talked about. That's going to help him with his mana management issues, and that's great. But given the pure punching power that VG's going to have, I feel like, you know, that VG's going to have, I feel like CK might have been better served picking up an armlet in this case, because he's going to be forced to fight. He's not going to have the luxury of sitting back to farm up 2 more items, I don't think. I think he may be able to get drums up before they really start to pour it on. But, you know, I feel like he needs a bit more damage output than he's going to have at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, either he would have to opt for I don't know, sometimes I try to go for the drums and Vanguard build together with the Magic Wand, if I can get it early enough when I know the opponents fight a lot, just to be there to soak up damage. But it's very, very rarely I would go for the Vanguard build. In this game, I would probably consider it because an armlet will do something for him, but I don't think he will get it fast enough.
Yep.
And I think he just needs to maybe get that drum, buy a Vit booster even, just tank up for now.
Yep. The survivability, I mean, obviously, picking up the armlet, it helps a ton just in terms of damage output, but the survivability would certainly be there as well. Looks like we should be able to get ourselves back underway. Sorry for the slight delay here, guys. If you're just tuning in, I'm Ayesee, joined by Lodeberg here, courtesy of No Tide Hunter. And I'll have him drop his credentials and all of his information again here at the end of the broadcast. If you're just joining us, welcome in.
All of my information?
All of it, every bit of it. Your home address, your social security number, or the equivalent, whatever the equivalent is.
Everything for the audience, you know.
Exactly. Got to go all out. Looks like we are going to be back underway. So thanks for your patience, ladies and gentlemen, and hopefully you checked out the website as I directed earlier. Taking a look at the last hits, we can see tops on the board. Our Lifestealer. He's already got his drums.
There's smoke going off in mid.
Smoke up. That's going to be a Night Stalker. Bumping nuts to butt with Fenrir and FY, as he's moving considerably quicker than the rest of the squad. Looks like the target gonna be this tri-lane, or what's left of it, as it has basically broken apart. That's a very unhappy Wisp. Life's about to be very hard on him, and this is gonna keep him off of 6. There we go. Tracks out. He is gonna tether up, but the Burrow Strike catches him just barely. Now Cuck's gonna continue to run, making his way back towards the tier 2. And there's the silence. Lippy's there. Gonna charge the Illuminate. TP reaction comes in. And he'll actually catch one. Now, Duck's going to be the target. Here's Fenrir as well. Disruption buys him a little bit of time. In the meantime, Lifestealer will not quite get the kill. Heard a Sonic Wave go off in the jungle. Not sure who it caught, if anyone. Duck will be cleaned up as well. And went about as poorly as it possibly could. I see a lot of half-dead heroes on the side of VG, but none that are dead. And now Yumu eats a burrow strike, continues to pursue out the Sand King, will get the kill, is silenced, but the Illuminate thrown out, not going to connect on any target. They end up trading 2 for 1. VG leads 8-3.
Yeah, I mean, Vici is playing extremely aggressive right now, and I mean, we see them diving behind tier 2 towers at 10 minutes in. It seems like the strat they looked to be playing very, very aggressive is actually played very, very aggressive. But I mean, it was quite close that the co-op could, if the co-op would have killed the Sand King a bit faster and maybe then be able to turn, it could have looked a bit different. But at the moment, RILIMIN doesn't really have so much crowd control. They have a CK stun, that's about it. They can tether stun someone, but I mean, I just think they lack crowd control right now, and I think they just have to kind of turtle during the nights to be able to fight Vici during the day.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Their lack of ability to control these fights in any way. I mean, they have damage. We already see it. And the Queen of Pain, landing her entire skill set plus an Illuminate's enough to bring just about anyone down. But as you mentioned, relying on just Tether Stun and Chaos Bolt, especially when you're not just running into 1- and 2-man gank squads, but 4- and 5-man, 3-, 4- and 5-man gank squads, it becomes very difficult to manage those battles, even if they are playing aggressive. So they're going to keep this up. Night Stalker has popped his ult. 12 minutes in, taking a look at the gold graph, we can see it's just over 2,000 in favor of Vici Gaming, 3,000 experience.
Yeah. That's actually less than I thought it would be, but... So RILIMIN is not doing so bad. But oh yeah, he's killing Night Stalkers. Nope.
Here we go.
Didn't get it.
That global presence showing itself. They're going to go ahead Reality Rift him out. He will be cleaned up. The rest of them want to pursue. Bounty's been dusted. He's going to be the target. 4 seconds on Wisp. Is he going to take the CK back? Nope. Detether. Sonic Wave's going to catch 2. Disruption on the Bounty on the low ground. And now Lifestealer trying to bail his buddy out. Has done a good job so far. 2-second Chaos Bolt enough to secure the kill. Might end up being traded. No. Good Sprout from Furion. Keeps him immobile for the moment. I hear an epicenter going off. That's going to catch T-Doc. No! Does not make it back home. At least doesn't go home the way he wants. Rage now on the Lifestealer. He's going to open wounds. Cucks, 3-second Chaos Bolt on Fenrir. Drum's going to be popped. Should be enough to secure him enough room to breathe and extend this fight a bit longer. Or this, excuse me, the opposite of that, to bring that fight to a close. 11-5 as the dust settles, however. Another tier 1 tower, the prize for VG.
I may have missed that. Did they trade 2 for 2 or was it 3 for 2?
I want to say it was... It's so hard to tell sometimes. Whenever the fights go on that long, you lose track.
Exactly. But I was going to say that was exactly what I meant earlier about the counter go, because now once they had level 6 on the Wisp, they can always abuse the fact that Night Stalker will keep diving towers, and if Night Stalker has a good start, he will play more aggressive as well. So that's exactly what they should have done. I feel they reminded me a bit of me or our team sometimes when we do a great turn, we counter go on the enemies and we outsmart them and everything, and then we're like, yeah, we just took back some of the lead, let's throw it away right away and fight it. You know, you just want to fight and
get going a little bit too quick, and Cucks is actually going to go ahead and engage. Fenrir is there. Here comes the Infest back out. Cucks in trouble. Disruption's there. Sprout there as well. Cucks cleaned up. The Illuminate hits everyone, and now RILIMIN wants to try and clean house. X-Team making a run for it. San Diego manages to make it away. Now Lifestealer going to be the target. He opted to go with the Medallion. He has actually just ate an Earn Charge. Now he's going to turn and re-engage. The Illuminate's there. Doesn't matter to someone who's raged out, but good Sprout. Doesn't matter. Furion dies, being stabbed in the back by the Bounty Hunter. Cackles his way off of screen. Another track kill comes out. He's level 8. 13-7 now. And RILIMIN is playing much better here in game number 2. But Vici continues to build on their lead in excess of 3,000 and right around 3,000 on the experience side.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that RILIMIN is doing okay right now. I mean, they had a rough start, and sure, Vici is obviously leading this game, but they're still fighting, and that's what they have to do right now. During the day, you want to fight.
Take a look at Kux. He has gone with the Phase Drums wand, has them all up and ready. He's got 900 gold, just about 1,000 actually. In his inventory, we'll keep an eye on him. Our Lifestealer sitting on 2,600 gold, saving up for something.
He went for a medallion as well.
Yep, that was, yeah, I mentioned that towards the end of that fight.
I didn't see that.
And it makes a ton of sense when you think about it. When you look at the damage output coming out of RILIMIN, they're going to have, hang on, we got to relocate gank, and off goes the dust. They just guessed wrong.
What?
And now they're going to be engaging here. T-Duck is going to be able to make it away. They're going to re-engage here. And the medallion is off cooldown now, but 4-second Chaos Bolt, irrelevant whenever you're teleported back across the map. But that's kind of what I was going to say, is the medallion makes a ton of damage, or a ton of sense whenever the biggest worry you have whenever you're raged is the physical damage coming out of the CK. So you can just go ahead and say, yeah, that's fine. I'm willing to go one-on-one with the CK.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of medallion, and I've been considering going it on night many times. But usually when I would go for it, we would choose to focus on Roche early.
Little bit of dive action here in mid. Sorry to cut you off there, Loda, but we got a fight going on. Didn't think it was going to last this long, but it has. Wisp being pursued, tethered up to the Queen of Pain. In the meantime, going to be another kill. That's going to be another track kill just underneath the tower. They do manage to clean up the Wisp. And 14-8.
14-8 indeed. CK is just hitting the tower on bottom lane, and this keeper, he was very happy got out there.
And TP reaction.
The thing is, I have to say, I should have mentioned before as well that I feel when you have to play so much better than your opponents when you pick lineups where you have less disables and less crowd control. And that's why I want people to understand, like, RILIMIN doesn't really have a easy lineup to execute. Like, during the fights, they rely a lot on that CK and Wisp, and the Sanking is a really good pick here as well. So, I mean, it's more of these counter goals, as I've been keep on saying. Like, you want to trick Vici Gaming to, like, run into eliminate, and from there on you can...
Up, here we go. Open wounds. Going to catch Lippy. There's a follow-up Bro Strike. And they're going to re-engage on the Fenrir. They get the one kill. Here comes Bounty, though, throwing out the track. Dust is off. Here comes Yomo. Using Queen of Pains. Vast skill set. Pouring on that AoE damage. They pick off the Wisp now. Forced to blink away. T-Duck not so lucky. Wishes he had a blink instead. Gets the hard ride home. 17-9, and now they're beginning to roll this up. You can, and this is usually when you can feel it, and I'm sure you'll agree, is the fights will be close and close and close, and all of a sudden you take one where it just doesn't even feel like it was close at all. And Kux, yeah, just look at him get blown up because of that medallion. Down he goes. Yeah. That's a track kill as well. Keeper gets a little bit of an illuminate off, but Lifestealer on the warpath.
Yeah,
and
this Lifestealer, he hurts so much, and he will just keep going through the whole team. Yeah. And that's what I mean. You have, when you rely on only 2 disables for a Lifestealer, and you can't, or you don't focus on split pushing, then Nyx is a very, very scary hero, and that's why we see him getting picked so often in both Chinese and European American Dota.
Really liking the medallion choice. Again, it makes a ton of sense against Keeper of the Light, but it's helping him just blow everyone on the map up, basically. And to be honest, this game has a very familiar feel to Game 1, where it was basically just an overfarmed Shadow Fiend going berserk. And it's not as if the Lifestealer's completely out of his mind with farm. He's at 112 last hits in just about 20 minutes, so he's just about on par with where he wants to be. But he's just done so well in every other phase of the game, sitting at 6-0-7, has not dropped the death yet, has added a few to his collection, to his trophy belt. And, I mean, at this point, what can they really do? CK, basically, I don't feel like CK can confidently engage into a Lifestealer, and it's not going to get much better with a BKB, which is what he's going with for now.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you, and that's why people tend to feel that CK Wisp is the most imba combo, and even pros feel that way. But I feel when you pick CK against Nikes, Nikes will have the upper hand if you're not dominating. But I don't really know what they can do right now. They should just focus on trying to split push until CK has the BKB and some higher levels. I guess it's gonna be a very tough game for them right now, since the track gold will keep on taking it to Vici Gaming's side. So they're in a really tough position right now. And I think the only thing you can do is, like, you have to wait for your opponents to make mistakes, or, as I said before, it sounds stupid, but like, trick them to run into Illuminate. That can turn a fight where you can kill 2 supports right away or something like that. Otherwise, it's gonna be very hard to control his Nikes, because now he has the, or Lightfield, and now he has the Aegis as well, and he may be going for a heart, so this guy is just gonna right click.
And he's gonna get a good chance to here. That poor Queen of Pain. Wrong place, wrong time. Silenced out, cleaned up quickly. And Lifestealer chopping wood on the creeps, about to be chopping wood on that tower. I mean, what do you even do right now? You're so dependent on Queen of Pain to have a way to fight. I mean, they may be able to force a reaction to the tier 2 here, but I honestly don't think they'll care. Now they are going to pull back. That kind of surprises me a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't really like being the negative guy, but this is very tough for RILIMIN, and but I think they're making the right decision to, like, just split push now. Like, you try to split push with CK Wisp and go as far as you can. Now they're gonna go try to make some kind of counter go in mid.
And
but I mean, if they kill the Lifestealer, he's gonna respawn, but
3-second Chaos Bolt. Let's see if they can follow it up. He's up. Nope, just gonna go. And in the meantime, yep, he actually does get a kill. So that's another kill for XTT. And I'm not even sure how he got that, to be honest.
Yeah, he just hit Keeper once, Keeper pops Ghost, and then he tossed him or something. I didn't see either, they're just so strong right now.
Yep.
On Vici Gaming, and they have snowball heroes.
Yep. And the Aegis has been popped, so they got that going for them. Very well executed by Real. I didn't catch it either. There was a Lifestealer hanging around. We see drums go off on 2. They want to fight right now. BKB, Phantasm, thinking about fighting. The Queen of Pain is there as well. And they are going to clean him up pretty easily. That's a super dead Wisp. And yeah, it's getting to the point now they can't even begin to stand a fight. One, but never mind. Sonic Wave is going to catch 2. Can he get the Night Stalker? He can. Queen of Pain playing quite well. Trying to extend this game, but basically once the Lifestealer shows up, fun's over. He's going to go ahead and infest himself into a creep. XTT still hanging around, at least for the moment. Now pops back out, ready to go to work. Here on this tier 2 in mid. Taking a look at the gold, we're up to 5 digits now for their lead. 10,000 gold in a 23-minute game. Not quite 500 gold a minute lead they've built, but pretty damn close.
Yeah, I mean, as you're saying, Vici Gaming has a clear lead this game, and RILIMIN, they will have to do their best. But did you see there the CK? He kinda, and I really understand him what he did there. Like, he pops his BKB, and then he starts to think like, yeah, maybe I can turn for 1 second, and no, he can't. The Nikes is just too strong right now, and
3 shots, just 3-shotted, 3-shotted the Wisp, literally.
Yeah, this guy is gonna be, he can pretty much right-click your base tower now with that heart and armlet popped at the same time with regen on. And if you try to stop him, he will dive you and kill you. So we'll see how Vici approach the lead they have. I mean, they just keep on ganging. They keep on killing these heroes that are split pushing, like this Furion on top right now.
Giving him the old ring around the rosy routine, and misses with the Sprout. Not something you want to do, especially when there's a bounty hunter waiting in the wings with the track. And basically all he accomplished there was guaranteeing it was a track kill instead of a regular kill. It was very cute, though, watching him run around the treants and allow them to block the Night Stalker off. Now, Lippy, 1, 2, make it 3. See you, buddy. 28-10. And RILIMIN, I mean, they're not playing awful. Queen of Pain in particular, I feel, has had a pretty good game. But
yeah, I agree. I mean, they're not at all playing awful. But as I said, when they go for this squishy lineup and you rely on CK, like taking all the, like tanking up and soaking up all the damage in the fights or stuff like that, it is quite risky. And when you look on Vici Gaming instead, they have a Nyx, they have a Night Stalker, they have even a Sand King. Okay, the fight's coming up now, I'll let you.
And Cuck's gonna pop his BKB, uses Phantasm, just has no way to hang and bang. T-Duck does him no favors there, basically guarantees no way to get away. By sprouting him inside, open wounds onto the high ground, tracks there, T-Duck looking for safety. The Infest comes out from the Nyx, looking for another target. He's found one, if he can get it down. Burrow strikes there, he gets 1 kill, make it 2. As soon as he, yep, 1 more is all it's needed. That's actually FY soaking up all these kills via Shadow Poison and assorted other nasty spells. 32-10, and yep, Lippy, sorry buddy. Lippy's had a bad game. I won't say bad, he's had a rough game. It has been a hard life for the Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, it's not an easy game to play Keeper of the Light, and here the GG call is coming up. I think it's the right thing to do. There is pretty much no chance that they could have turned this at this point. They're just too squishy. And didn't work out the way they planned, I guess. But it looks like they picked a strategy that is their own.
Well, looking at it now, I mean, it's... when you look at the way the draft worked out, you're kind of going to give Vici an edge there, because let's just think of the targets. I mean, when you get a Wisp, I mean, we talked about it, you have a Wisp, a Nature's Prophet, and a CK. You want global presence. Who are you going to gank? You've got Shadow Demon, which is the obvious target, but he's not going to be by himself. You've got Lifestealer, who's really tough to gank. You've got Night Stalker, who's tough to gank. You've got Sand King and Bounty Hunter, both with invis methods of escape that require detection. Not to mention a stun and the just innately hard to track down skill set.
Yeah, but exactly. I mean, and since the Nyx goes for a face drum build, you can't. They just run away. You know
exactly.
This is what happens to us sometimes when we have bad games as well. It hasn't happened in a long time now, I think. But when you just pick lineups and you feel that you can't catch anyone, they just run away. The Night Stalker is just too fast. The Bounty has track, will just run away. The Nyx has rage, can TP out. I mean, they must have been quite frustrated this game, and I don't know. They may just have been outpicked. Like, I think Vici Gaming approached this in a good way when they did those 3 first picks as well. Going for an early Nyx, going for an early Night Stalker, I think it was as well. No, was it Nyx?
No,
Sand King?
it was Sand King. It was Sand King, Shadow Demon, Lifestealers, the first 3.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they already have a. I mean, they can do so much with those heroes. They could even solo Nyx, safe lane against a Furion. But I mean, they go for heroes that can fight, that will fight early mid game and are at their strongest, and because they see their opponents pick Wisp, and when you play against Wisp, you should pick either like 5-man push, or you go for the early man fight and just count again, or just roll over opponents.
And the Ancient finally blows. We can put this one in the books, give a 2-0 victory to Vici Gaming as they lock their position in for the next half, the next part of Phase 2 here of the Asia qualifiers of the G-1 Champions League. Hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. Gonna be signing off here shortly. Once again, want to thank Lodaberg for being here with me. He was here for 1/4, actually 1/5 of the games he should have been, but I'll take 1/5 of Loda over 1/5 of anybody else.
I'm just happy to be here, you know.
I'm gonna have this.
I love your voice and stuff. I was actually thinking you should start like saying like, "Are you ready to rumble?" Like your voice would.
I actually have done that before. I actually did it at a local Tough Man once. I work at a radio station. Well, not anymore. I used to work in radio, and I did that one time, and I can't do it. So someday, I'll tell you what, Loda. The next time I announce No Tide Hunter, I'll break that out just for you, buddy.
Oh really?
Absolutely.
Oh my god, man. That's gonna make my day.
And I'll wait for the horn too, just as the horn and the creep spawn. We'll be ready to roll.
that's gonna be all.
You guys keep an eye out for that. Once again, thanks to you, Loda. And one more time, where can people find more information about you if they want to know how awesome you are in ways not so easily visible on a broadcast?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter @LodaBerg, where I keep spamming my nonsense.